Action members, Mr. De Wever, Mrs. Van Campo-Mulanes, and Mr. Roy Marlin. And I want to start off today's press briefing with the information which you might have already, that we have submitted 2 requests to the chairperson of the Central Committee, Mr. George Pantuflet. One is a request for a meeting to get answers from the government on the matters raised in the Central Committee of the 10th of March last. This meeting, as you would recall, was requested by the Democratic Party to discuss government's position on subsidies and investments. And as we stated on Thursday last, we have no confidence that the N.A. Heiliger-Laveis government will answer to the Island Council, and hence we have asked for a meeting to get answers. So we have put forward a request for a meeting with as topic answers by the Executive Council to the questions posed in the Island Council or in the Central Committee meeting of the 10th of March last. We have also requested a meeting on housing, and we have asked that the St. Martin Housing Development Foundation, its board and its management be present. We want to also in this respect get answers from government on matters we have raised in the past regarding housing, matters we have raised in the budget discussions regarding, for example, land purchase. We also want to hear from government and the St. Martin Housing Development Foundation on the allocation of the Hope Estate apartments. You would recall that according to media reports, these apartments should be delivered sometime now. In fact, it was mentioned in the middle of March. So we want to talk about that as well. And overall, the financial health of the St. Martin Housing Development Foundation. In our opinion, the government of St. Martin continues to be unaware of the fact that they are in the governing seat, and that they have been for the past 9 months. The government, in our opinion, again, continues to look for reasons why they can govern effectively. After 9 months of blaming the previous, thus the DP administration, that argument is becoming quite lame. The latest one of such being the Brooks Tower Accord. And let me go immediately into that topic. The Minister of Justice, Mrs. Yacoba, has been quite clear in her assessment of the situation. The BTA, Brooks Towers Accord, is not tied to the work permit policy, as the leader of government would want to make one believe. To the contrary, the work permit policy is restrictive as far as the BTA is concerned. For example, in the area of the age categories, which, as you know, there are limitations that are in the work permit policy with respect to age and age limits. But what do we see? The leader of government, the leader of the National Alliance, declares that it was the Democratic Party administration that tied the work permit policy to the Brooks Tower Accord. How was this done? One should have asked the leader of government. What business did the Democratic Party have with the execution, mind you, and I stress execution, of the BTA? That execution started in November of 2009. Who were in the local and the central governments at that time? You would recall the case of the Democratic Party administration, or the case that we made, in fact, for the Lieutenant Governor to issue declarations of intent to workers already on St. Martin. We had included that in the previous work permit policy. There was such a clause. This was rejected by the Lieutenant Governor.